they're staying and their full name so he can find them if they take off. Also, she's gonna leave Lee behind, so basically she's offering Lee up as some sex for him. And you know what, man? I think I would be fucking convinced too if I was Jasper. Jasper agrees. Girls leave. Confused Lee, who was sleeping in a chair behind with Jasper. Pretty funny scene. She's like, "This is Lee. This is Jasper. See you later." And she wakes up, and she's like, "Huh?" And he's like, "Ha ha ha ha." So there's a little bit of humor to it for people who have seen the movie. I hope you would have if you've seen or if you're listening to this. Well, the girls, they stop the car in the middle of the road, halfway down the road, and Kim and Zoe are discussing who's going to do it first. Zoe's going to start off on top, and she ties her belt around a door, and Kim ties Abernathy's belt around the other door. And the girls speed down the road with the windows down, and Zoe climbs out the window onto the roof. And from there, she kind of holds onto the belts and lies down on the hood while Kim races the car down the road. She looks like she's crucified on the car hood. That's the best way I can describe it. Abernathy's fucking nervous at first, but, she starts enjoying herself after a little bit because she realizes, that Zoe's a professional. All the while, you've got Stuntman Mike watching them with his binoculars, and he kind of laughs and speeds off towards them. And shit's about to hit the fan now because Stuntman Mike's a crazy motherfucker. Well, we get this car chase, where Stuntman Mike's smashing into the back of their car. It's freaking them out, of course, because you got somebody hanging off the car. And, he's smashing his car against theirs, causing Zoe to gradually lose her grip on the belts. And it gets to the point where Zoe has to hold on to the hood, but, she's just struggling to stay on while Stuntman Mike smashes their car. Eventually, he fucking crashes into their car so much that it causes them to swerve onto the shoulder of the road, like near the woods. And it throws Zoe into a clump of bush. And Stuntman Mike gets out of his car with Lee, and he's, like, all excited. He's like, "That was fun." And Kim pulls out her fucking gun and just shoots him right in the shoulder, and he's like, "Ah!" His reaction's awesome. And the timing of it was awesome also. He speeds off down the road while Abernathy and Kim are all shaken up, and they're crying about Zoe. And Zoe just pops up and tells them, "I'm okay." Again, she's from New Zealand, so it's kind of even funnier, her saying that. Kind of cute in its own way. I'm not sitting here saying she's the hottest chick in the movie or even close to that, but her accent kind of makes her cuter than what she is. So they're going to get back at this motherfucker. Zoe grabs a metal pole and straddles the passenger window of the car while Kim speeds down the road. Stuntman Mike stops in the middle of the road. He's in pain from his fucking gunshot, bullet wound. He's sitting there crying over his misfortune here. He's drinking a bunch of alcohol and he's pouring it onto his arm because he got fucked up. And girls crash into the back of his car and Zoe smashes his windows out. She jabs his arm and head with the pole, and Stuntman Mike speeds off again. Zoe, Kim, and Abernathy chase after him down the highway, and it's just this kind of like old school car chase type thing. They're chasing him down the highway, through the back roads, everywhere. And, the tables have turned now because Kim's now smashing into Stuntman Mike's car, who's driving with only one good arm. He's not had time to put on his safety belt, so he's getting bounced around now. Even though his car is presumably death-proof, it's not helping him here because he's fucked up. The chase leads to a local highway, which causes other drivers to swerve out of control, along with a biker who's since flying off his motorcycle. It's kind of funny. Excuse me, I've been drinking, as you probably well know. The chase leads back to another back road where the girls accidentally go off the road onto a dirt farm road, and they're running parallel to the main road, and the girls eventually swerve back onto the main road and cause Stuntman Mike's car to lose control and flip over. They get out of the car and drag him out of his. So they drag fucking Stuntman Mike out like it's Grand Theft Auto, and they start beating his ass. Abernathy, Kim, and Zoe, they beat the fuck out of Stuntman Mike with their bare hands. And, the closing credits run for a few moments until Abernathy lands a death blow by smashing Mike's face in with her boot. So all three jump in celebration of their triumph here. And that's how the movie ends. True story. interesting way for it to end, but it was also kind of cool too. I really, it was. I think the point of it was that it was like, what? How do I put this? Cheesy. It was supposed to be cheesy. It was a grindhouse movie. You know what I mean? It was, like I said, a grindhouse movie, an homage to the grindhouses, and it's kind of beautiful that we're talking about this 10 years later and on the anniversary of drive-in movie theaters. So, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I'm going to get into, let's get into the box office first. This isn't something I talked about at the start, so let me get into this. Well, this is hard to kind of figure out, to be honest with you, because of the way that it came out. I don't have a whole lot on the gross and the fucking budget on the movie, so we'll hold off on that one. Tell you what, let's get into Did You Know? We'll talk about that. All right, so Zoe Bell, not a surprise, she does all her own stunts because she was the stunt double for Uma Thurman in the Kill Bill series, also directed by Quentin Tarantino. Interesting thing here. In an interview with Newsweek, Tarantino stated he came up with the idea of Death Proof when he was talking to a friend about buying a car. Tarantino wanted to buy a Volvo because he didn't want to die in some auto accident like the one in Pulp Fiction. And in regards to the safety of his car, the friend had said, well, you could take any car and give it to a stunt team, and for $10,000 or $15,000, they can death proof it for you. And then the, quote, death proof phrase had stuck to Tarantino after that. Stuntman Mike's two death-proof cars are a 1970 Chevy Nova and a 1969 Dodge Charger. So kind of interesting that we get the 69 Dodge Charger and then a 1970 Dodge Charger white. I guess there's some symbolism there. You got the evil and the good, the black and the white. Sorry, I'm not trying to be racist. That's just, fuck you. That's what it is. Stuntman Mike's the film was physically scratched as opposed to digitally scratched to achieve the dirty look that it has. As I said earlier, Kurt Russell can be seen eating in the background through the diner scene in the film's second half. In an interview, Quentin Tarantino said the version of Down in Mexico heard in Death Proof was likely the rarest recording in his entire collection. When he was working at a Stag Theater in his teens, he showed the record to the projectionist, another record collector, who immediately pointed out the words newly recorded on the record's label. Tarantino said this version soon became one of his favorite tracks of all time. The jukebox, named Amy, pronounced Amy, it's spelled A-M-I, pronounced Amy, is Quentin Tarantino's own. It was trucked to Austin to be used in the film's very own rig. The list of songs on it was also handwritten by Tarantino. One of the songs is You Can Never Tell by Chuck Berry, the song that Mia and Vincent danced to in Pulp Fiction, 1994. Jack Burton, this is something Vic will like, Jack Burton's tank top, which is the white tank top with Japanese rising sun and a samurai from Big Trouble in Little China from 1986, can be seen hung up on the wall of the bar where the first segment of the film takes place. It's right above Jungle Julie, slightly to the right of the Amy jukebox. Did you see it? The only Quentin Tarantino movie that takes place completely in chronological order and without flashbacks. Interesting. Rosario Dawson convinced Quentin Tarantino to cut her hair like pinup icon Betty Page for her role. No idea who that is. I guess I'm too young. Quentin Tarantino admitted later in an interview that he believed he over-tweaked Death Proof, but was still very proud of it. According to Zoe Bell, when her friend Tarantino told her that she would be starring in the movie, she thought she would be just a featured extra. She copped on when she saw her name on the poster. I guess so. In the car scene with Abernathy, Kim, Lee, and Zoe, the girls are discussing men they have had relationships with on a movie set they work on. In the scene, Kim mentions that Lee has a relationship with a man known as The Rock on the crew of the film set. When Zoe Bell asks if it's the actual actor Dwayne Johnson, he's a wrestler. Okay, he's an actor now, I guess. He's a fucking wrestler. Lee explained that it's actually just an electrician named Bruce who looks like The Rock. And in the closing credits of Kill Bill Volume 2, in the grip section, one of the names of the grip says Bruce Del Castillo, nicknamed The Rock, in the credits. The jukebox, again named Amy, pronounced Amy, Is the same one as the opening diner scene of Natural Born Killers, written by Tarantino, 1994. According to Tarantino Universe aficionados, this is the third appearance of Jungle Julia. The first was as Unruly Julie in My Best Friend's Wedding, mentioned as a rival DJ to Clarence, and the second was as Wayne Gale's assistant in Natural Born Killers, again from 1994. The two waitresses that do shots with the group in the Texas Chili Parlor, again, that's the second place they go to, are Lone Star roller derby girls Venus Envy from the Puertas del Fuego and Punky Bruiser from the Holy Rollers. I don't think the roller derby exists anymore, but I remember when it did, it was kind of interesting. The original name for this film, which pops up only a few frames, is Quentin Tarantino's Thunderbolt. At Warren's Bar, there's a sign that says cash only, with the famous photo of Johnny Cash giving the middle finger. And let me take a drink here. By the way, tonight, I'm drinking, well, hang on. I've drank two different things before and after we went on there. One, I'm drinking some cheap-ass Wicked Grove hard cider, crisp apple. Wait, that's not right. Fuck. That's an old bottle. God damn it. Well, I'm drinking Wicked Grove, like very berry. I already drank that. Now I'm drinking Angry Orchard hard cider summer honey. You all heard me drink that before. Okay, back down. Quentin Tarantino named the character Jungle Julie Luque after his personal assistant Victoria Luque or Luce. Mickey Rourke, Sylvester Stallone, Ving Rhames, Kurt Russell, and Australian actor John Jarratt were all considered for the role of stuntman Mike, with Tarantino, upon the urging of Grindhouse co-director Robert Rodriguez, smart man, finally settled with Kurt Russell. Smart move. We got conversation between Abby, Zoe, Kim, and Lee, in which it's revealed that Abby's last boyfriend, a film director, cheated on her with a stunt double for Daryl Hannah. Monica Staggs, who plays Lana Frank in the first half of Death Proof, was the stunt double for Hannah in Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2. Okay. The car driven by the girls has door frames. The original did not have door frames. The crew was most likely adding the door frames for the ship's mass stunt to be possible. Poster of Bridget Bardot and Jungle Julia's house above the sofa was made especially for the movie. When one of the girls gets a phone call before buying a magazine in the store, her ringtone is the same as a whistling tune from Twisted Nerve, Quentin Tarantino reused in Kill Bill Volume 1. I believe it's if I'm not mistaken. The Crazy Babysitter twins from Planet Terror featured prominently in the shot introducing Warren's Bar and can be seen again during the lap dance sequence. In a 2012 Directors Roundtable conducted by The Hollywood Reporter, Quentin Tarantino said Death Proof has got to be the worst movie I ever did. It is important to note that he was saying it has to be the worst movie I make. I'm not saying that it was a bad movie, but it's the worst on his filmography. I'll get into my thoughts on it later, but I disagree. Jackie Brown is his worst movie. Just an opinion. I think it's a strong one. Fuck Jackie Brown. I've watched it once and I didn't get anything out of it. Well, the poem that Jungle Julia has her listeners recite to Butterfly is an excerpt of the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. It's also a reference to the 70s thriller Telephone from 1977, which the poem was used as a post-hypnotic signal to activate Russian sleeper agents. In the extended cut of the film, the word fuck is used 148 times. And I will not be mentioning all these fucking songs on the jukebox. Look it up yourself. All right, in the second segment of Death Proof, this yellow car, you get the yellow car with the black stripes the girls drive, has a license plate that reads Brand X. I did see that, which is a reference to Brand X Action Specialist, the stunt company of Quentin Tarantino's stunt coordinator, Jeffrey J. Dashnall. Quentin Tarantino considered John Travolta, Willem Dafoe, John Malkovich, Mickey Rourke, Ron Perlman, Bruce Willis, Kal Penn, Ving Rhames, and Sylvester Stallone for the role of stuntman Mike. Of course, Willis did star in Planet Terror, the other half of Grindhouse. Pam's hair, makeup, and clothing were designed